Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha in Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, section 13. In the previous section, the concluding stage, Sri Rama said, O sage, by your grace, the darkness of ignorance has been dispelled by the luminous sun of wisdom. Like a lotus blooming in the sun, my spirit blooms to discover its essential nature. All these are colorful writings, awakening rasa in your heart. The real rasa of all rasa is God realization. But different type of sentiments, they spice up your understanding. Every spiritual teaching is like a dish of food given to you. But if the dish doesn't have any pickle or anything like that, sweet, sour, whatever, rasas, then it's not so. So, sages have created lots of episodes, parables, stories to bring the highest knowledge in a very comfortable way. And that again is a profound art of spiritual attainment. Your life should not be lived under gloom. Let your heart bloom. Like the dissolving mist of winter, my doubts have dissolved. I am ready to follow your behests, O sage. My egoism, pride and delusion have vanished. Rama becomes exemplary aspirant. My spirit rejoices in the eternal bliss of the self. I am no longer threatened by the illusion of bondage. I am now ready to follow your commands without hesitation. And the command of the Guru is realize who am I and give dakshina, aham brahma. I am Brahman, that's the best dakshina you can give. I'm talking on a very advanced point of view, so don't get confused. In section 13, Sri Rama asked, O sage, by the glory of spiritual knowledge, I have brought about the destruction of the vasanas. I now abide in the self. But please tell me, how do yogis attain this state by controlling the pranas? There are many subtle points, and we will give insight into those points. First point, the attainment of enlightenment requires vasana akshaya, always remember, three great impediments on the path to attaining liberation: mala, vikshepa, and avarana. Mala, gross impurities, impurities that you are aware of. But these gross impurities have their subtle state of subconscious vasanas. And vasanas have their deeper source, known as samskaras. Samskaras are like seeds. Vasanas, sprouts, as well as all that develops after the sprouting stage, the whole growing process of the trees and creepers, all that. But when vasana begins to grow and no longer within the farmland, but begin to move up, sprouting, then it is known as vrittis. So let me just introduce these terms. Samskaras are your deepest level, subtle impressions. Those impressions are countless, but there is one weakness with those impressions. They are like film negatives in old style photography process. The photographer will get many negatives, hundreds of them, and then he has a job to print them out. But one flash of light will destroy them all. So that's the type role played by your samskaras. But until that light enters, until the wisdom influences that state, the samskaras continue. They are same as karmas, leading you from one embodiment to another until you bring about that tattva jnana, knowledge of the self. And so, what sustains all those samskaras is ignorance. Ignorance is darkness, avidya. The more darkness, better those samskaras. And they operate. But darkness wanes, moves away, or to whatever degree darkness moves away, your samskaras begin to change. A tremendous change occurs in your karmic movement at the very foundational level. So now that's the highlight point. Sage Vasishtha first points out that there are two methods of destroying, burning up your vasanas. One is jnana, another is yoga. Jnana is the climax, without jnana there will be no liberation. But jnana is a result of all other aspects of yoga. To put it in a very simple way, you have four aspects of yoga: karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga. Of these, all these four must operate in your spiritual sadhana. Then it's called integral yoga. Sages don't use the term integral. Yoga, whenever they speak of, it is always integral. However, sometimes in different contexts, the yoga term is highlighted as Raja Yoga, as Hatha Yoga, as Kundalini Yoga. Here the topic is focused on Raj Yoga versus Vedanta. Vedanta is described as Jnana Yoga. And Raj Yoga has its extensions. Hatha Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, these are extensions of Raj Yoga. Because Raj Yoga implies 8 limbs: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam. So the 3rd and 4th limb, Asana and Pranayam, they cover all the Hatha Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Nada Yoga, and many other yogas, all related to chakras of Kundalini. Some spiritual seekers who are not equipped with the required mental will and physical strength find Hatha Yoga difficult to follow. Others lack the subtlety of intellect and therefore find Jnana Yoga difficult to follow. Thus, spiritual seekers, according to their inclinations, either adopt path of Jnana Yoga or path of Hatha Yoga. Here in this old literature, Hatha term has been used for Raj Yoga. What you are being directed to understand, that you may highlight one particular aspect of yoga. Karma and bhakti are difficult to understand. So the focus is more on practice of Raj Yoga, practice of meditation, movement, and practice of inquiry, understanding movement. Understanding movement doesn't require many limitations, like you have to have a particular place, a particular position of your body. Inquiry movement becomes a deeper movement. But Raj Yoga prepares you. So whenever a person wants to become spiritual, first point he has to understand where he has to go, what seat he has to sit on, and how his spine must be erect, and so many details. But understand, all this is needed. Even you are very advanced, you will still need your body to be playing its role in its own level. So though you understand the highest role is not in your body, but body is very important unless for attaining your higher goal. For those who are, another point to understand, while it appears to you there are 2 different paths, but each one supplements and complements the other. If you are practicing meditation, pranayam, keeping up with your yoga exercises, you have better possibility of understanding I am not the body, I am not the mind. But if you are not harmonizing the pranas in your physical level, your mind is gripped by so many complexes. All that you learn by your mind becomes intellectual, and you don't succeed. So, integral understanding is always extremely important. Integral yoga. For those who are in the possession of subtle intellect, Jnana Yoga is indeed easily attained. By the force of discriminative knowledge, discriminative vision, a Jnana Yogi discovers the fact that the self, which is the embodiment of knowledge, is the ever-effulgent reality. Ignorance and its products, mind and its functions, are ever illumined by the light of the self. All that your mind presents, all your experiences in the three planes are through your mind. Three planes means physical reality. Second plane is sentimental reality. Third plane, your reality based on your understanding. All these three planes are backed up by a mental projection, thought waves of your mind. And when these projections move away, there is nothing but the absolute self. But even while the projections create the wondrous phenomena of the world, the reality behind all that is pure consciousness. Just like projections in the cinema show. Even though you watch all the drama, etc., all the time the reality behind the projection is the screen. The yoga of controlling the pranas involves the practice of various concentration exercises along with various physical exercises, asanas, pranayamas, along with various mudras and kriyas, as well as exercises of Hatha Yoga. These exercises are the giver of success only when a yogi is able to find a right place which is free from all distractions, where he can meditate for long hours and can practice various yogic exercises by adopting various restrictions in food and daily living. Otherwise, the path of yoga does not easily give success. So all that, just like if you are treating a disease, you require many restrictions in your food, in your dwelling. In the same way, Raj Yoga highlights those restrictions. Jnana Yoga puts you in an advanced stage. Raja Yoga is giving you early stage of mathematics, where parallel lines never meet. Jnana Yoga gives you advanced state. Parallel lines are not parallel if they don't meet. Only they must meet at infinity. You have to figure that out. It's not a mathematics class. So even though you hear different ways of sadhana, there is no contradiction. You shouldn't develop the idea. I'm Vedanti, no more Kundalini, no more chakras. I'm Brahmas. On the other hand, the other man says, my Kundalini is awakened. No more Vedanta. So, that's eccentric development. And that's what scriptures always try to guard you from, being narrow-minded and eccentric. Continuing this, since Sage Vasishtha is now introducing the story of Kakabhushunda. In a storyline, Kakabhushunda is a crow, sage that chose to stay in the form of a crow. But in a storyline, I'm myself putting my hand like a crow. But crow implies that double consciousness. Among birds, this is the old style view of crow, that crow has only one vision. It uses through two eye sockets. And that implies wisdom is like one vision, wisdom. It is used for transcendental state as well as the relative state. Handling the world realities, you continue without being interrupted. And all your dealings in the world is not touching you at all. And another aspect, you are absolutely untouched. Put it in a simple way to understand, the sky is the crow. It handles the clouds by one vision, and it goes beyond the clouds with another vision. Using two visions, all the details of the clouds become possible because of the sky. How much attentive the sky is. But at the same time, the sky has nothing to do with all the clouds. The sky is absolutely untouched. This is called double consciousness. And that's how Jivana Mukti is described. That is how Sthita Prajna state is described. That though you handle the world, face your challenges, you go through the world process in which your body itself is going to be left out, abandoned, left to die. No matter all this can happen, that will happen, but nothing is happening in your real I am. And that type of revelation you are completely established in. That's your goal. But while we talk of the goal, you must realize your movement to the goal is progressive. If you are facing your challenges with patience, you have started practicing Vedanta. In spite of challenges, if you are able to relax your mind, turn to the pages of the Gita and the Upanishad, Yoga Vasishtha, or any particular inspiring text, and allow your mind to enjoy that vision presented by scriptures. That practice is not dependent upon your external circumstances. In spite of external challenges, you continue to move internally. So much so, internally you are so secure. Jako rakhe saiya. In devotional language, you are under the protection of God. How can you be affected? How can you be tortured or harmed by all the forces that exist in the world? So that type of, again, I put it on an ideal way, progressive way, you go on discovering your inner strength. One side of your personality faces the pain, the sorrow, the grief, it shakes. Another side, strength. The end result, your other side begins to get more nourished. A tree that shakes but doesn't break. What happens? The tree gets more strong roots. So Vedanta doesn't work like magic, but enters your life and works more than magic. Because magic things are you use only to change your circumstances from loss to gain, from adversity to prosperity. But whatever you gain is in the realm of Maya. Your prosperity is not real prosperity. So, Kagbhushundi, being crow, I have explained the subtle meaning behind the crow. This sage abides in the body of a crow and is known as Chiranjeevi. Chiranjeevi means everlasting. He goes on living. This point I have explained before. Jivan Mukti state suggests to your mind transcending the whole world, never to come back into the world. If that happens, then what happens to the world if Jivan Muktas never come back? What I am leading you to understand that anyone who attains enlightenment leaves behind footprints. The footprints are Chiranjeevi. They don't die. They stay in the world as long as any soul is struggling. Kagbhushundi is behind it. As long as anyone is in a state of struggle in the world, Gita is behind you to help you. So Gita is Chiranjeevi, it didn't become liberated. Upanishads are Chiranjeevi. They didn't become liberated. That's what subtle meaning behind. One time, while seated in the heavenly assembly of the gods, I was listening to sage Narada. Narada was telling stories pertaining to sages, including Kagbhushundi, who prolonged their life for many ages by the practice of yoga. Having listened to these stories, sage Shatatapa, who is well known for his measured speech, came forward and told the story of Yogi Kagbhushunda. Yoga Vasishtha uses the name Kagbhushunda. Tulsidas ji uses the name Kagbhushundi. So there is no problem with that. Kak is crow. Bhushunda, Bhush term is all the divine power. Bha, Bhaga. Anda, they are all there and you are the basis. Within you is the potential. You are the egg potential of God realization. Now listen to the allegorical setting. Where did Kagbhushundi live? There is a mountain in the northeastern part of the Meru Mountains. Its holy summit shines crimson red, even like the Padmaraga jewels. All these allegorical description. How does Sthita Prajna, one who is enlightened, what is his abode? First point we have to understand, he has no abode. He himself is all the abode you can talk about. But to a mind that is constantly facing a world of misery, the vision of enlightenment has to be presented in a way that your mind becomes inspired. And so your inspiration is based upon how you have experienced the world. Things that inspire you, wonderful lake, beautiful sky, a rising sun, crimson red spreading across the sky. All these happen every day. But if your mind becomes crow-like, you are constantly aware of all this glorious aspect of the world. You are not living in the terrifying aspect of the world. You are living in the joyous, sublime. The world has both aspects, avidya and vidya. And also it is little teaching given. Allow your mind to turn positively. Don't stay with things that are keeping your mind in a state of distress. Now, its lofty summits shines crimson like red, like the Padma-raga jewels. On this summit, there is a kalpa tree known as Chuta. Cha-uta. Cha is movement, is progress. Uta up. Going, following the 7 steps of wisdom. So that's the name of the tree, which has long extending branches that shine like silver and gold. That's the state of sattvapatti. Your rajas becomes silver. Rajas that distracts your mind is artificial silver, not real silver. Sattva is gold. So, which has long extending branches that shine like silver and gold. In the southern part of the tree, there is a nest wherein the crow sage Kakabhushunda dwells. So in that setting is the abode of Kakabhushunda. It's allegorical. If you are spiritually advancing and internally in tune with God, you are not living like all people around you. They are living in different stages. They are living in muck. They are stuck. But you are living in a glorious awareness. How you live depends upon your experience, your consciousness. Simple way to understand. How you feel depends upon your mental state. Your mental state again has its basis on the basis of consciousness, awareness. He abides in his nest, even as Brahma abides in the lotus that emanated from the navel of Lord Vishnu. The allegorical setting, Lord Vishnu is in infinite support of all the universe. And Brahma, the creator, emerged out of the navel. First came the lotus. On the lotus was seated Brahma. All these are allegorical, nothing to do with practical reality. In other words, as a sage, you no longer relate yourself to human hereditary line. You will relate yourself to Brahma. And Brahma, why relate Brahma? Not for entering into Brahma's creation, but to become one with Narayana, Lord Vishnu. There is no one in this world who has attained his life for such a long time. In addition to his amazing long life, this sage is endowed with dispassion, vairagya, just like the sky has lived for a long time and is endowed with dispassion. It stays untouched. Subtle penetrating vision, mental quiescence, and intuitional enlightenment. These are the characteristics of this sage. He is the knower of time. Sage Vasishtha continued, "Thus, O Rama, I listened to the story of Kakabhushunda, and because of my amazement, I asked sage Shatatapa to repeat the story once again. Having verified that the sage did not present mere eulogies about the crow sage, that he had given the true account, I proceeded to the abode of crow sage in order to meet with him personally." Storyline. Sage Vasishtha says that when he heard the story of Kakabhushundi in satsanga presented by Narada and Shatatapa, he became convinced that what he is being presented is perfectly real. Inspired by this, he went to visit Kakabhushundi by his psychic power. By my spiritual power, I immediately reached the summits of the Meru mountains and beheld a glorious sight of nature. All that again allegorical. Where does a Sthit Prajna live? Rumbling clouds adorn the mountain's peak. There's always festivity going on. The clouds are rumbling. And the forest trees danced with joy, while the bees hummed over nectarine flowers. All this goes on before you, but the same thing becomes so inspiring. Streams sparkled with placid waters, and waterfalls resounded with their sportive sounds. Heavenly beings abode in the flowers and bushes, and the very breeze itself sang a divine song that enraptured the mind. You may think Sage Vasishtha has such power, but the fact is the description of the world as seen from the advanced mind, the same world that everybody experiences. Every day you see the sunrise, every day you see the miracle happening in the sky. Every day you see all things happening. Countless birds flying, and so many things. The message is not that you become so drawn to every little thing happening in that way. But simple point, the world around you is inspiring. Why? It is an expression of God. And then God, who is God? Your essential nature. The I am is behind the entire world. The sun is behind all its illuminations. That's easy to understand. Look at the illuminations. Countless illuminations. But to whom does the glory go of all illuminations? The sun. If you want to secure certain illuminations of the sun, then it is called karma movement, and it will not be permanent. But when you want to attain liberation, realize I am the sun, then that's eternal attainment. Because the sun is the truth. Illuminations are illusion. Brahman is the truth. And the world process experience in and through human mind, that world process is illusion. Then I beheld the kalpa tree, known as Chuta, which was inhabited by numerous celestial birds. There was the swan, the vehicle of Brahma, the creator, the divine parrot, the vehicle of fire god, the peacock, the vehicle of Lord Kartikeya. Again, all this is allegorical. Every day you see all these birds, peacock, swan, and many other birds. If you are spiritually sensitive and you are using your jnana chakshu, wisdom vision, then everything is thrilling. Turning your gaze to glory of God, God dancing in the peacocks, God soaring in a swan. And if you are highly advanced, there is nothing that is not inspiring in this world. Kan kan mein ghan shyam basa hai. In every particle of this world, there is a divine, inspiring presence. But to be more practical, allow your mind to go after all the things in the world that inspire you in a profound way. And this point has been brought into the Gita by Vibhuti Yoga. Among luminaries, I am the sun. Among waters, I am the ocean. And so forth. While soaring through the sky, I discovered a nest on the southern branch of this kalpa tree. Southern term is Dakshina. And Dakshina has its own subtle meaning. That's what we talk about Dakshina, Guru Dakshina. Your right hand is called Dahina, Dakshina. So anything that you do rightly, it is Dakshina. The other way around is left. Not be leftist. So that subtle point is involved in the world, southern part of the kalpaka tree. The nest was filled with a group of crows. They are all divine souls. In storyline, they all great souls gathered around Kakabhushundi, who used to inspire them. When I looked more closely, I saw in that nest the glorious sage Kakabhushunda, seated in the midst of an assembly of birds. He was giving a discourse on the nature of Brahman. When you see so many birds talking together, remember, any one of them could be Kakabhushunda. His body shone like sapphire in the midst of fragments of glass. He was serene and blissful and endowed with all the qualities of an enlightened sage. He had witnessed the rise and fall of numerous deities such as Indra, Varuna, Agni, and others. It's being described. A Jivan Mukta is Brahman. And Brahman is beyond all the concept of deities. Even deities are considered living very long, but not eternal. So many Brahmas have come and gone. Many Varunas, many Agnis, fire gods, many Indras. But Kakabhushundi has been unaffected. He has continued to exist because he is one with Brahman. In his wisdom, he excelled Brihaspati, Guru of gods, and because of his mastery over death, he had become the beloved child of Yama, god of death. Again, it's allegorical. Yama is completely cruel and he doesn't have any regard for anyone. He kills, backed up by your karma. But if you are his own beloved child, he will not kill you. The enlightened sage plays that role. In fact, he was the beloved of all beings, not just Yama. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Vishwabandhutva, the entire world becomes the family, one family, cozy, comfortable, because all is an extension of the self. And we will continue. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer for shower of divine grace, Karunamaya Ras over all, and for kindling aspiration for God realization. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarugma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.